Before we go into our next story, I just want to say that I can't really complain about my salary. But I am now, according to the EU Statistics Agency, working for free in a way. Eurostat says that there's a roughly 15% gap between men and women's salaries in France. And so from today, November 5th, it's as if I were working for nothing. Same goes for France 24's business editor, Kate Moody, who joins me now. Kate, so there was a cut-off, 4:47 p.m. local time, mostly symbolic. But what does the data tell us about the gender pay gap in France and in Europe?
Well, as you mentioned, that official figure for France is 15.4%. It's the difference in average hourly pay between men and women across all sectors and levels here in France. It's remained largely static for the last 5 years or so, despite ongoing efforts to level the playing field. Now, France comes in just about at the European average. Across the European Union, the gender pay gap comes in at 16%, but it varies widely from country to country. On the high end of the scale, we've got Estonia, where men are paid a whopping 25% more than their female counterparts. Both Germany and the UK come in at just about 20%. At the more balanced end of the scale, we have Luxembourg, Romania, and Italy, where the gap is closer to 5%. Now, there are a lot of factors at play here. In general, men hold higher ranked positions, which of course come with higher pay packets. Women often see their career paths stall somewhat after having children, and their salaries don't increase as rapidly after they come back to the workplace from maternity leave. Their male counterparts of similar age and background see faster progression at that stage. Now, about a third of women in Europe only work part-time, a situation that many of them say is linked to family needs rather than preferences, so it's all tied in there. And that brings us to another, perhaps even more striking comparison, which is the pay gap between men and women of the exact same age, education, number of years in the workplace, and the same title. Even when all of those factors are the same, here in France, there's still a 10% gap in salaries between the sexes.
So what are the authorities and companies doing about this?
Well, it varies widely, again, across countries and industries. Here in France, the Labour Minister, Muriel Pénicaud, has brought in a new equality drive, which bears her name. It requires French companies with more than 1,000 employees to divulge data, including the average gender pay gap, differences in annual raises for both men and women, the pace of promotions for employees of both sexes, and how women's salaries and career paths progress after maternity leave. Now, a lot of major companies here in France haven't yet reported their data, but many of those that have fall short of the equality targets that Pénicaud has set out. They could be fined up to 1% of their overall salary loads if they don't improve within the next 3 years. Countries like the UK have also implemented similar schemes to try and boost transparency. British businesswomen have even started a Me Too pay movement to try and put the issue in the spotlight and promote tougher pay negotiations. But experts say that real, deeper societal change is really needed to address this problem at its core, especially when it comes to parental leave and childcare.
All right, thank you very much, Kate.